I've been a little distracted out here, or I would have written sooner. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat like that, wondering if I made the journey safely and all. On the yard map, the journey looked like quite a journey. Truth is, it only took me 1 full day of walking. I stopped at the Windmill for lunch. I had packed 3 sack lunches for the journey. I ate them all at the foot of the Windmill. The Windmill told me a story. I'll tell it to you some other time. I'm in the sunflowers now, planting sunflowers. We have to transplant each individual sunflower child into the sunflower-prepared earth. The sunflowers grow very fast in the hot sun of the borderlands. Sometimes I just sit and watch them grow. I try to determine whether they grow from the top or from the bottom. Flint and Lou would call me silly. Flint and Lou would say they grow from everywhere, all at once. I just can't grasp it, you know? Ellen is close by. She is planting sunflowers too. I like to watch her plant sunflowers. I like to imagine I am the sunflower in her hands. I am the sunflower in her hands, and she handles me carefully, so as to not disturb my fragile roots. She places me in the soil, and she tucks me in. It always makes me smile to imagine that. The imagination is nice, isn't it? When Ellen looks at me, I am usually looking at her. When she looks at me looking at her, she usually smiles. I have been here in the sunflowers quite a long time. All that time, I wasn't writing you I was here, planting sunflowers and loving Ellen. Maybe it was a week or a month. You would know better than me how much time it was. We don't do much with time around here. Time is one thing I really don't miss about my old apartment. I remember I used to have a clock in every room, so that I would always be aware of time's presence. I needed time then, the way I need Ellen now, I suppose. That's the only way I can make sense of it. So anyway, a lot has happened to me in that time. I have happened upon a lot. Most of all, I have happened upon a long dream, a very long dream called death. Ellen said, when 2 people dream, when 4 people dream, when 7 people dream, when 1,000 sunflowers dream and 1 large windmill dreams at the same time, they can all dream together in the same Dreamyard. Ellen said that while she was lying in bed at the workers' barracks at the borderlands. I heard her say it because I was lying right next to her, my fingertips tapping the bare skin of her belly. Her belly felt soft. It still does. I like that. That night we went to sleep and dreamed 1 small dream inside 1 very long dream. That morning when we woke up, Ellen asked me, "Huck?" "Yeah," I said. "What did you dream in your small dream?" And I said, "It's a secret." Her inquisitiveness always made me nervous. And she said, "Don't take yourself so seriously." "Yeah, well, okay, all right, I'll tell you, fine." I give in pretty easily. "I dreamed of making love to you," I said. She smiled, and she said something nice in return. She said, "Let's dream that dream together." So we did, very, very quietly, as to not wake the other workers still dreaming small dreams nearby. In the morning, we walked to the very edge of the borderlands. Ellen wanted to show me how beautiful the war horses were. Many years ago, they tell me, there were very few war horses. It is true that they have multiplied into many. It is also true that they run and snarl and pace back and forth. Nowadays, one can watch them from a distance. We watched them for many hours. They are majestic, not because of their long flowing manes, or because of their pronounced muscular systems galloping gracefully in the wind, but because of their silver armor that clinks and clanks and dings and dongs like an old cathedral's bells. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of sunflowers planted now. The sunflower choir sings very softly, just loud enough for the wind to hear. Every now and then, we all stop our work, stand among the sunflowers, and listen. They sing cackling, calling, and giggling. We don't have to stop our work and stand quietly to hear the drone, though. The drone, as you might imagine, is very strong here. It is quite sickening to the endocrine system. And if Ellen weren't here, and I hadn't just come to the conclusion that I am living a very long dream called death, I think I'd be quite a grump. Actually, I probably wouldn't be writing you at all. I wouldn't have anything nice to say. I'm guessing you probably still don't even notice the drone, which is good, because if you did, it would most definitely be driving you insane. Just imagine a constant brrrr playing behind your every action. Plant a sunflower. Smile at Ellen. It sounds like a refrigerator, an air conditioner, and a freeway, all singing together in a church choir. Well, you get it. I have to confess something to you. I may not be able to continue writing you in this manner. The others tell me that my letters might be slightly detrimental to my recovery from the blackness syndrome. It's hard to explain, really. I hardly understand it myself. Today I went to the river with Ellen. We stood on the footbridge and stared down at the water for a very long time. Each rapid was the wrinkled skin beneath my old man's eyes, skin that crinkled and lifted in a curious squint, skin that stretched and broadened in a wide-eyed surprise. My old man was a good storyteller. You never knew which parts were fiction and which parts were true. You couldn't tell because it didn't matter. Which reminds me, I've been meaning to tell you a story. It goes like this. Don't forget the opaque lenses of your grandmother's cataract. The windmill called out to me in a deep, gusty voice. Wake up. And I said, I am awake. But when I said it, I realized I hadn't been awake, not at all. I had just come out of a spell of blackness. How long had I been there? Ugh, I said. It was then that the giant windmill to the east told me his story. He said, I will tell you this story within a story within a story. It may bore you. thank me when I have finished. The giant windmill spoke very slowly, so slowly, in fact, that it was not particularly easy to understand him. His words were covered in stretch marks and blurred by an underlying wind whoosh. One must listen very closely to make sense of a windmill, so that's what I did, and I did it for a very long time. Until it was well past dark, I had eaten all my sack lunches, and I had to get going so that I could find the workers' barracks before I got too tired to stand. The windmill called out his story in gusts, and I swallowed it in guzzles. The one who sits here beneath my great oars, the one who sits to eat his lunch in peace 3 times over on a journey to see his love amongst the sunflowers, the one who has slept many a moment unaware of his dreamless sleep, the one who dreams only blackness at times and wakes up when his coffee has gone cold, has lived a dream called death. Many years now, without awakening in this dream. He has gone on living, dreaming, as if he were not dreaming death, as if he were dreaming life. He who dreams life during death leaves behind the great humor that manifests in death's dreamyard. He begins to die again, because the living must always die, and so he who stands before me dies again before me in a sleep that only the sleepers sleep. A dreamless sleep of blackness, and so I call to him, wake up, and I say, furthermore, you're dead, God damn it, and isn't it nice to know it? That was it. That was the end of the Windmill story. So I packed my things, and I went on my way to find Ellen.
Yes, you are a pearl.
Where is the shiny
You are a
onesie?
pearl. You are a pearl. You are a pearl.
No, do you want to wear it?
That was
I don't think it actually will fit
Oh, I
me.
saw that and
Oh my
it's
God.
very crazy.
Yes! Are you kidding me?
That's totally, yeah. Here,
A onesie. Three of you together really cute. Are like on a...
Love Peter stuff. A bit of volunteers UGA started.
Get all the sunflowers.
So we'll do that on Monday night. Mulligan? No. All right. Max! Yeah! After party, Max. Okay, all right, turn around. Lovely, lovely. Thank you.
So cool. Place in the Country Music Hall of Fame.